Alright, so let's head to the radiochemistry lab. I guess we are going anti-clockwise. So yes, here we go.
Like
Good
in a
morning.
submarine, I swear.
A submarine? Really?
Yes, this guy must be Dr. Laszlo Kakashi.
Good morning.
Good morning. What can I do for you?
Are you Dr. Kakashi?
In the flesh. And who are you?
Name's Jonathan Hunt. Have you received Miss Gall's letter?
I have no time for reading letters, Mr. Hunt. I'm on the clock. And when it's work time, I only have time for work. But tell me, what was in that letter?
Miss Gall's younger brother disappeared this morning.
Disappeared? You mean vanished under a spell?
I rather think he's just run off. He left a farewell letter, but his sister is terribly worried. She asked me to find him.
Asked you? Why? Are you a detective?
No, but I promised to help her. So she wrote to her colleagues asking them to assist with the investigation and answer my questions.
Well then, if that's the case, work time is suspended. Interrogation time starts. But please keep it short.
Interrogation time, huh? Someone sounds annoyed.
When did you last see Balaj?
He was here last week, and came to my house yesterday to return a book I had lent him.
So you lent him a book? May I ask what book it was?
A book on astronomy. What else? I only get visitors who want to know about the work or about the world of galaxies.
So he was interested in the world of galaxies.
Meteorites, to be precise.
That's curious. I don't think his sister knew about this.
He's a genuine teenager, you see. You are one, too. Young men have their secrets to hide.
Did he tell you about any secret of his?
Not much. But when he heard astronomy was my hobby, he asked about meteorites. But I'm not a good talker, you see, so I gave him books on asteroids, comets, and so on.
I see. Do you have any idea why he was interested in all these?
No idea. I couldn't even tell you why I myself was interested in it.
Good answer. That's a good answer.
Mr. Kakashi, what are your impressions about Vero?
Pretty little chick. The apple of the director's eye. Respectful girl and a good expert. Her father and mother have a scientific reputation, so I assume the children have good brains too. Balaj is also a bright kid.
You haven't taken advantage of Mr. Leotsky's permission to decorate your workplace.
No, I haven't. I only had this blue mood lighting installed. It's so celestial, if you know what I mean.
Can you tell me about the radiochemistry lab?
Well, I don't have much time. But if you want a short brief, we are chemists who work with radioactive material. You can see the sign on that door, warning about radiation hazard. Let's say a material is irradiated by the cyclotron. Some oxygen, for example. The oxygen is transmuted to radioactive fluorine. Then the radiochemist attaches this fluorine to a sugar molecule. This is needed for the PET diagnostics, a nuclear medical imaging technology to detect this radioactive sugar in the body. But from this point, it's not my business. So to put it simply, we work with radioactive material here. This is why we need special protective measures. But if you have a test tube of non-radioactive material, of course we could investigate that too in our standard lab.
I see. At least I think I do. Thank you, Mr. Kakashi.
So nuclear material inside this lab, and we're not wearing any protection whatsoever. This is very dangerous, guys. Very dangerous.
What a dangerous place this must be.
Yeah.
You can only look through a thick glass.
Even though we're outside the glass, I think we should still be wearing protection. Full gear. Full body armor. What if there's a leak? Maybe there's a loose screw somewhere. We could die inside this lab. So, is that all? Nothing else? Controls. Okay, so we found out about astronomy. What the brother is interested in. Office of Vera Gall. Okay, we were there. So, Cyclotron. Cyclotron? What is... Oh,
Wow.
it's an office.
I wouldn't be surprised to meet Captain Spock here.
And what are you working on?
An ageless guy. Or do his glasses make this impression?
Ageless? He looked pretty young.
Hi, I'm looking for Dr. Imre Biberosh.
Jonathan Hunt? Hi. Welcome aboard.
I'd like to ask a few questions. I guess you know what happened.
I know. And my processors don't comprehend. Balash is not like that, but go ahead, ask away.
Almost sounds like a native speaker here.
Have you seen Balazs lately?
No, not for some time. I'm glad he returned my DVDs before the Star Trek feature films. Not that I don't have more copies of them in a box set.
Did he watch them?
No. Actually, it was me who insisted on it. But wait a minute.
What's the matter?
Actually, I saw the guy on Friday through the window, chatting with a mysterious old man.
I saw it too.
Mysterious.
At least I've never seen him before. He had a hat on, so I couldn't see his face.
An old man with a hat on Friday.
Balash seems to know the fellow. Must have been over 70, and he talks somehow secretively. I didn't hear a word, though.
Thanks for telling me this.
Yeah, we saw him during the cutscene. An old man with the hat and a cane. Outside near the fountain with the turtles.
Do you know Balazs Gal well?
Not too well. At the beginning, early summer, he was rather clumsy. Then his girlfriend came along. They kept asking lots of questions, sometimes too many. She left a month ago.
Didn't he ask unusual questions?
He did. He'd been interested in the achievements of 18th, 19th century Hungarian physics.
Strange, asking you about this. I've thought you're a man of the space age.
Oh, maybe you don't know. I graduated as a historian, specialized in the modern era. But later I switched to nuclear physics, and now I control the Cyclotron spaceship in the Atumki Galaxy.
Extraordinary. So, what strange question did he ask?
I told him about great people like Istvan Hatvani, who was a doctor, teacher, priest, and physicist. A polyhistor, as we call it. He was a resident here at the Debrecen. I suggested Balash to look it up in the library of the Reformed College.
Most interesting. Thanks for the info. I guess you have some impression of Vero.
Well, yes. I was crazy about her.
Really? Does she know?
No, and please don't tell her or I set the Klingons on you. By the time I figured out how to approach her, my feelings were gone.
Gone.
But still, that girl is very special to me.
Looks like we have a love rival here. Of course we're not going to tell her. You tell her yourself.
Can you tell me about this cyclotron?
With pleasure. No military secrets, of course.
Military secrets?
One never knows. But I like the look of you. You seem very trustworthy. The cyclotron is a particle accelerator instrument. This here is the control system. We accelerate the particles and they gain energy by this. The particles must be charged positive ions. They're created from hydrogen or helium in the cyclotron's ion source. We separate the electrons from the nucleus. What remains is in fact a proton, which can be used for acceleration. Do you follow?
I'm still a bit confused about the acceleration.
Okay. Imagine a round metal cookie can. Suppose you cut it in halves and pull them aside a bit, leaving a narrow gap between the two D-shaped parts. Think about it as a model. Now, when the proton passes through the gap, its speed increases. Inside the can, the path of the particle bends and continues in circles of increasing radius, eventually moving on a spiral path from the inside outwards. Then it is directed into the target object, and bang!
Can you see or hear it?
No, and of course you cannot enter while the engines are running.
And what's that Stargate over there? Is that a bunny to be teleported?
Are you kidding? That's a very smart detector. The positron emission tomography, the PET. Its nickname is PET, PET. We use it to examine small pets after treating them with a bit of radioactive sugar.
I'm overwhelmed.
I'd love to show it to you in action. You should see the nuclear jet start.
Okay, which one are we talking? Oh, that fan! There's a stuffed animal in there.
A bizarre
right now.
structure. And that rabbit over there.
It's a doll. It's not a real rabbit. It's a doll. It's a stuffed animal. Looks like a fan with blades.
Although you're a historian, this place is packed with high-tech equipment.
Well, somehow my devotion for history faded over time. Instead, I began to develop an interest for the present and the future. After a few years, I took a new course in natural sciences. In short, this is how I landed on board of this spaceship here as Dr. Biberosh.
Dr. Biberosh. And I like a screensaver there. Looks mesmerizing. Star Trek, Star Wars. Those kind of movies. Looks like he's a fanatic. Alright, I think that is all. Nothing else. No hotspots left. Okay, right here. Oh, if I press a space. Right here.
Is that Darth Vader himself? I'm fascinated.
It's a costume. It's his Halloween costume. Alright, goodbye. Nice meeting you. Alright, next up, Microprobe.
Extraordinary place. Like in a Cold War spy movie.
Yeah, it's like each laboratory has its own distinct flavor here. All from different eras. It's pretty cool.
A frail figure and a nice face. She's far from the physicist stereotype.
She looks like a nurse.
Good morning, madam.
Whoa!
My name is Hunt.
Jonathan Hunt. My name is Dr. Tomoro Shafran, but please call me Tomoro. Just not Tommy, okay?
With pleasure.
I knew you were coming here. Saw you arriving. Vero has good taste.
What?
Good taste?
Oh, no. I just came about a water sample.
I know. And now it's about Bolage. Please, feel free to ask me anything.
She does look like someone from a different era. It's like from the 60s or 70s. Yeah, her hairstyle and her clothing. Minus the coat, the lab coat, of course.
I'd like to know when you last met Vero's brother.
On Sunday.
Yesterday. Where?
We didn't actually meet. I just saw him downtown. I guess he didn't notice me.
When was this?
Late afternoon. But he didn't disappear yesterday, did he?
No, not yesterday. What do you think of Bolage?
Well, I think he's not the type who just runs off suddenly. It must be some joke, I guess. Vero gets you to do the job, then he'll turn up and laugh at the hassle.
I admit it has occurred to me too.
Well, Bolage is a bit strange. Yet, I tend to say I like him. Better than most of the guys of his age.
Did you see him often?
Not really. Sometimes he comes to ask questions.
What kind of questions? About the Vander or Vander?
The Van de Graaff accelerator? No. He usually asks me about language problems.
Asks you about language problems?
Because I speak many languages. That is, I can understand many languages, but hardly speak any of them.
Wow, that's interesting.
Very interesting indeed. So, how many languages?
How come you know so many languages?
When I was a child, my only entertainment was reading books and learning. I was fascinated by the variety of languages. I wanted to understand all the books my parents had. Even today, this is a passion of mine.
What a story. And how many languages are you familiar with?
Well, I can read and write in about 15 to 20 languages.
What?
Many of the Western languages, and some dead languages too, like Latin or ancient Greek. Then some Hindi, Mandarin, Hebrew, Arabic, Swahili, Japanese, and Korean.
Oh my
But
god.
I learned them merely from books.
Amazing.
Currently, I'm trying to improve my Russian, which I didn't learn in school, unlike many people here.
Incredible. You must be a living dictionary.
Incredible is definitely an understatement here. That is ridiculously crazy. Wow.
What do you think about Vero?
She's cool. Men notice her. And she's smart. Born in a family where life is about natural science.
Do you two speak often?
Yes, every day. We usually have coffee together, gossip a bit, but nothing too serious, of course.
I can imagine.
Acquaintances. Colleagues. Doesn't feel like they are friends.
I know nothing about the place you call the Microprobe. What do you do here?
In fact, we work with two instruments connected to each other. What you can see here is the Van de Graaff particle accelerator, which speeds up particles, such as protons. Then these particle beams are directed onto the target we want to examine. The particles in the beam and those of the target collide, and some of them scatter. We can detect these particles and capture data, which helps determine the composition of the target object.
And the other one?
The second instrument is the Microprobe. It can focus the proton beam to a tiny area. This allows us to examine the composition of the target object on micrometer scale.
This means if you put an object in there, you can scan it, just like an X-ray.
Not exactly. It only lets you capture information about the surface, or just below the surface. But it is a perfect method for studying the composition of archaeological findings, for example.
This control room is rather a strange place.
You mean not as frilly as the other labs? I think it suits my personality.
It does, doesn't it?
Oh, you think this craziness is all about decoration? It isn't, I tell you. Come back if you feel bored, or if you need a translator.
Thank you. I will.
Yeah, definitely. A translator. Definitely.
I would expect to hear the news from August 1965.
Wow, so is a matter of taste. She decorated this lab herself, you know?
I'd readily believe this picture is transmitted from Mir, the Russian space station.
Oh.
A vacuum system. To me, it might as well be the control panel of a classification yard.
Looks like a circuit board.
Even a pocket calculator is anachronistic in this environment.
And would you like a cookie? Chocolate biscuit. You want one? Oh, no, he doesn't want one. Or she doesn't want one. Oh well, it's time to go.